are great pictures.
Welcome.
You did?
Okay.
Wow.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. Let the record reflect that the meeting was properly noticed. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first thing I want to do is recognize that we have one board member who's joining us via Zoom tonight. Tim is with us via Zoom, and Bill Stoner is absent tonight. So I want the record to reflect those things. First item tonight is the approval of our minutes from the November 17th, 2021 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and if so, any questions or discussion?
I move that they be accepted as written.
Second that motion.
Motion made by Aaron and seconded by Jim to approve the minutes from November 17th, 2021 meeting. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
If I may, before you vote, actually, because you have a person participating electronically, your policy indicates that it needs to be a roll call vote.
Okay.
So typically, you have somebody call the roll of each person, and then they would weigh in.
Okay, so I'll call roll if that's okay. Aaron?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Yeah.
Tim, can you hear me okay, Tim? We've got, okay. Where's that actual microphone at? Okay, he's calling in.
We had just done an upgrade to improve this, and we tested it earlier in the week, and it worked fine, but we're having a small technical issue. I'm going to try and call him.
Yeah, we could put him on speakerphone near the microphone if that works for the voice part.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tim, it's Neil.
Yep.
Hey, we've got to do a roll call on each item since we have someone joining us electronically.
Okay.
So when I call your name, I'll just need a yes or no vote on each item, and this is for the minutes. So you're...
Yes, no response now?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so
Aye.
that's three ayes, so that's the roll call we need, right? No nays, so that motion carries. Thank you, Tim. Next item we have is the meeting dates, Utility Service Board meeting dates for 2022. And I think those dates are listed somewhere, and as everyone reviewed those, if there are no issues with those meeting dates, I would entertain a motion to approve those as written.
I move to approve the utility board meeting dates as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Aaron to approve the Utility Service Board meeting dates as presented for 2022. Obviously, those are subject to change if necessary as we proceed, but all right, we'll do a roll call on this. Aaron?
Aye.
Jim? Aye. Tim?
Aye.
All right, that's three ayes and no nays, so the meeting dates are approved for 2022. Next item we have tonight is the appointment of our board officers and committees. It's an action item, and this is for 2022 as well. I think we've decided to table this item for a future meeting, so
For our
everyone
next
is
meeting.
able to be present.
Continued until the December 15th.
Okay, so we need a motion for that as well. Okay.
So I make a motion that we continue items related to the Utility Service Board officers and how they will serve and on what committees until our next meeting on December the 15th.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we've got a motion by Aaron and a second by Jim to table or continue the item 5 here, the appointment of board officers and committee assignments for 2022 until our next meeting of December 15th. We'll do a roll call on that. Aaron?
Aye?
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
All right, it's 3 ayes, no nays, so that item is continued. Okay, our next item is our legal services for 2022. It's an action item. Any discussion or questions on this item?
I've done a little bit of homework. The request is an increase in the primary hourly rate from $185 to $195. That's a 5.41% increase. The last time that there was an increase was in 2015 from $175 to $185. In my opinion, the request is not out of line, that if we're satisfied with our legal counsel that the rates proposed are suitable as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. Any other discussion or questions on our retention of our legal services for 2022?
And by the way, I am satisfied personally with our legal services.
I think Jeff does a great job personally for us.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, if there's no other discussion, I would entertain a motion on this item.
I move to retain Hackman Hewitt LLP as legal counsel for 2022.
Second?
Got a motion and a second on retaining Hackman Hewlett LLP as legal counsel for 2022. We will do a roll call. Aaron?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
3 ayes, no nays, so item 6 passes. Thank you, guys. Next item is an action item as well. This is our Butler, Fairman, and Seifert on-call agenda, and Ryan Ottinger is here tonight to address that for us. Hey, Ryan.
Hello, thank you very much. This request is to approve the 2022 on-call water wastewater project management assistance from Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. This agreement allows us to seek help from BF&S when we would need something that's not in a project. And we can call them and ask for their assistance with the entire staff in different aspects of the job. Sometimes, things come up where we need to rely on BF&S for just a confirmation, or if we do have an emergency that pops up that's not just a scheduled project, we can rely on them, and this gives us a line item for contractual services for that. So my request for that would be, for this item would be $30,000 for the calendar year for 2022. And I can answer any questions that anyone might have on this.
Do you have a good working relationship with BF&S?
I do.
That's been my experience also.
Yes, and John Leitner is who helps a lot, but in situations where John's not available or it's just not really in his wheelhouse, we are able to we meet with John Brand, Mark Chmielewski, who does some problem solving for us, outside the box type stuff, and then a number of employees there that kind of round out that group.
Right, thanks, Ryan. Any other questions for Ryan on the BF&S on-call? for 2022? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve BF&S for the 2022 on-call water and wastewater project management assistance, an amount not to exceed $30,000.
Second that motion.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jim to approve the 2022 on-call water and wastewater project management assistance in an amount not to exceed $30,000 with BF&S. Any additional questions for Ryan or discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call on this item as well. Aaron? Aye. Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
All right, we have 3 ayes, no nays. So this item passes. Thank you, guys. Ryan's going to stay right there for our next item. It's the 2022 TAC and Plan Review Assistance action item as well.
Yes, thank you, sir. This is for the BF&S this is to approve BF&S for 2022 TAC meeting and plan review assistance. We kind of implemented a new process recently with the help of BF&S, and what we're doing now is when we receive a plan review, before we go to a technical advisory committee meeting, which is a TAC meeting, we review it internally with the boots on the ground crew to make sure that it's going to work not only on paper, but it's going to work in the field for a long period of time also. And then with our comments, we send those to BF&S, and so then we have BF&S put the engineering comments together and then also include our comments. And then that is passed on. And also this year, there were certain times where BF&S did some plan review for the city also. So it's actually worked out to be a good program for both the utilities and the city. And then when those comments come back to us, then I represent the water, wastewater in the TAC meeting, but with the comments and the notes from BF&S. And if there are times where either I can't be there or if it's a pretty large project, John Leitner will attend those meetings as part of this agreement also to, just to make sure that all of our concerns are being met and everybody's on the same page in TAC review. So that is what my request is for 2022 to kind of go along in the same lines as the 2021 agreement. And I think as we all know, there are a lot of future growth plans that are going to really start taking shape in 2022. So getting them right on paper before we start moving the earth and we start putting stuff underground is a huge savings and also keeps everybody on schedule. So I can answer any questions anybody might have on this.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Any questions for Ryan or discussion on this item? Not entertaining a motion?
I move to approve BF&S for the 2022 TAC meeting and plan review assistance in an amount not to exceed $30,000.
I get that.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jim to approve the 2022 TAC meeting and plan review assistance in an amount not to exceed $30,000 for 2022. Any additional questions for Ryan? All right, we'll do a roll call, starting with Aaron.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
All right, that's 3 ayes, no nays. That item will carry. Ryan's still up, and he will address the next action item, which is our Wessler on-call for 2022.
Yes, so we do have a guest here. Bob Holden's here from Wessler, and in the spirit of the holiday season with bringing cheer to everyone, before I go further with how valuable Wessler's assistance is, we have a very good example of how valuable Wessler's is. And I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'll have Bob step up here and go ahead.
Hey, Bob.
The final results are in as far as polymer usage for 2020 versus 2021, and I think you all are very aware that was quite a subject of conversation this year. 2020, you spent $34,500 in polymer, round numbers. 2021, you spent $17,800
Wow.
in polymer.
Great.
And got the same job done, correct?
Pardon?
And got the same job done.
We got the same job done.
Thank you.
We appreciate your assistance in consulting with us on that.
You're welcome.
So, I appreciate Bob coming here with those numbers. We were both very excited as and I will tell you also, with the $17,000 that we have spent, before a noted price increase, possible price increase, we were able to stock some polymer, so that actually will get us into the first couple months of 2022 with that number. So it's actually a little bit more of a savings. And the reason why I kind of bring that up now is this wasn't a planned project. This was one where Jeff, Jacob, and I were on the phone, and we're like, hey, we really need Wessler's help and Bob's help. So we just jumped on a phone call with Bob, and this was an opportunity to what we felt like get this right. And I think the numbers bear out that that's exactly what happened. So we were able to, with having this agreement with Wessler, able to just really speed this process up and get this correct. So I do want to thank Wessler and specifically Bob for all their help in this, because it was a massive savings for us and for the ratepayers. And it just shows what kind of this general services contract can do, because there's just things you cannot foresee in the utility business, and having the ability to pick up the phone is huge for me and my role.
How many consecutive years have you had Wessler and Bob specifically?
Bob can answer that. I know since I think I started here in '99, Bob, and not with Wessler at the time, but Bob has been
98.
98. Okay, so as long as I can remember, I can say that Bob's been.
It was 1998, in case the public didn't hear. Okay.
Yes, 98. So he's been involved longer than I have in my employment at Lebanon Utilities. I started in '99. So he also, Wessler also was in charge of our most recent wastewater treatment plant expansion. So it's not always just phone calls here and there. It's big stuff, little stuff. There's nothing that Bob can't help out with and Wessler can't help out with on that side of the table, which is makes me sleep a lot easier. I can promise you that. So I can answer any questions on this, but my recommendation would be to approve the general services agreement from Wessler for 2022 in an amount of $15,000.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Bob. Any other questions for Ryan or Bob here on this item? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2022 General Service Assistance from Wessler Engineering in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Aaron to approve the 2022 General Service Assistance from Wessler Engineering in an amount not to exceed $15,000. Any other questions or discussion? We'll go ahead and do a roll call as well on this. Jim?
Yay.
Aaron?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
All right, 3 ayes, no nays. So that action item passes. Thank you. Ryan's going to be up there for a bit longer. We've got the pretreatment action item for Wessler as well.
Yes, this is something that is very important to Lebanon Utilities. The pretreatment program is for our wastewater, the industrial side of our wastewater. We have one employee that is in charge of all of the pretreatment, and that's Tony Green. And we have 11 facilities in our pretreatment program right now that are listed in there. Tony monitors more than that. And based on the comp plan from the city, the industrial park is going to expand over the next few years, possibly almost double. So Amy Harvell and Wessler are vital to ensuring that everything is within compliance for IDEM, and also the assistance that Tony needs to keep that staff as one, but be able to accomplish everything. One of the things that she does is, well, she'll do inspections, industrial inspections, and that usually lasts about 2 hours, where Amy and Tony will go in to these facilities, tour everything, note everything, and make sure that everybody is in compliance with IDEM. And then she also helps us generate the report. Then she also has communication with IDEM. And in the service contract, there's a list of a lot of things that Amy does, but her knowledge and just another one of those where we can pick up the phone call and just make sure that, hey, before we send this email, is this correct? Before we make this phone call, is this the right direction? And knowing that, her expertise in the field as Tony's right hand in the operation is massive, and yet again, makes our job a lot easier.
See, when Amy does these inspections, does Tony go with her, or does she do it by herself?
It's her and Tony both.
Okay.
And so they both are observing, they're both kind of creating their own checklist on site. Then they'll meet and talk afterwards, and then based on what both of them record during that inspection, she'll help us generate the report. And then that will go to the facility if there's corrections that need to be made, or if they just get the thumbs up from us. And then also, we can report those inspections to IDEM, which is part of the protocol, if it's an IDEM mandatory pretreatment program.
Do you feel like we have a good relationship with the folks we're inspecting?
Yes. With the folks we are inspecting?
Yes.
I do. And it's one of those things where it's just the nature of the business, but between Amy and Tony, I think everybody in the industrial park, and I don't want to speak for them, but from the feedback that I've gotten and on some of the inspections that I've gone on just as an observer, trying to learn more, we have a really good relationship, and Tony's not about to, he's a pretty good salesman, so he garners that, and he takes a lot of pride in that, to make sure that the customer is satisfied, maybe not always happy, but at least satisfied with the direction that we're going. And so, yes, I'm very proud of that program, especially with how minimal of staff we have, but Tony's fantastic, and Tony gives all the credit to Amy. So together they make that whole thing go, and having just one representative from Wessler and then Tony and the entire pretreatment program, and for it to have the success that it has is huge for Lebanon Utilities.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Any other questions for Ryan?
I think it might be, my understanding is that we make certain that these high users of our wastewater system doesn't put into our wastewater system more than IDEM has approved them for. And that if they do exceed, that there's penalties involved. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so that penalty money helps us, if someone is maybe temporarily inputting more than they should into our system, then those extra monies help us maintain our system. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's not only volume, it's also the type. If they're putting in a chemical or something that's not allowed, So it's not just extra volume, it's the type of wastewater to where if they are on the pretreatment program, we can maybe set something up with them, and then they can take care of whatever was coming down the drain initially before it gets to us, and that helps keep them in compliance. So not only do we do the inspections, but we also kind of give them guidance on if you do A, B, and C, that will help keep you in compliance with us and with IDEM to avoid any surcharges, whether it's a volume or, the BOD or whatever they may send to us.
Yeah, I feel like that this program is really important, and I just wanted to sort of emphasize it. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Thank you, Ryan. Any other questions or discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2022 pretreatment program assistance from Westler Engineering Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $40,000.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Aaron to approve the 2022 pretreatment program assistance from Westler Engineering in an amount not to exceed $40,000. Additional questions or discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call. Aaron? Aye. Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
All right, 3 ayes, no nays. That item carries. Back to Ryan one more time for the 22-23 Emergency Repair Program action item.
I think 5 may be close to my record for agenda items, so I appreciate everyone's patience in this. This is a request to accept a bid submitted by Atlas Excavating Incorporated for the 2022-2023 Utility Emergency Repair Program. This item was properly advertised in the Lebanon Reporter and also the Indianapolis Star on November 9th of 2021 and November 16th of 2021. This approval establishes emergency rates through Atlas that they have submitted from January 1st of 2022 to December 31st of 2023. What this does is gives us some redundancy in emergencies and also gives us some backup on repairs that we just can't make. An example is we use this in the past with Atlas, this emergency repair program on a water valve that was on our 24-inch water main, which is our only feed from the Sugar Creek water plant. And that valve was too deep for our equipment, so we needed an excavator, we needed a trench box, we needed to have the excavator hauled here, an operator, all that stuff. Atlas was already under our emergency repair program, so the rates were already established, so they were able to send the equipment we needed. Our field guys made the repair, and that was all on the same day. It wasn't where we had to call around and maybe we can get cheaper prices, or maybe, they can be there tomorrow or next week. They were able to do that all on the same day, and the prices had already been established. So it's the peace of mind for this, and also an emergency repair on equipment that we would only use maybe one every 4 or 5 years. And now we have that kind of in our back pocket to where we don't have to purchase an excavator just for once every 5 years. We can just actually call them, use their services and their operator and make the repair. So my request, this does not cost Lebanon Utilities anything unless we use it, and then that is just the hourly rates that we've established for the next 2 years are what we would pay from anything from an operator to a superintendent to generator lights for on a job site. If we don't have enough lights, they can bring in lights that are mounted on a generator and light the job site up to where we can continue working into the night, where days like today, into the night is basically 5:45, 6 o'clock is when it gets dark to where you need lights. So that can just having that peace of mind for all those options is great for Lebanon Utilities, especially if it doesn't cost us anything to agree to this other than if we use the contract.
See, we had a request for proposals process, correct?
Yes, so we generated a bid package actually and sent that out and advertised that. Then we had a sealed opening, and Atlas was the only response. But like I said, in the past, we have used them on the last two-year contracts for the emergency repair. We did take advantage of that emergency repair contract in 2019. Luckily, knock on wood on this podium, we did not need them in emergency repairs in 2020 or as of before this meeting started. So, I don't want to jinx myself for the rest of the calendar year. So, but like I said, the peace of mind, having that contract to know we can just make one call and immediately get that process started, is huge, not only for me, but for the field guys also, so they're not in a situation where they're not comfortable with equipment they're not comfortable with.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Anybody have questions? Any additional questions for Ryan on the emergency repair program? If not, I'd entertain some motions.
I move to approve the 2022-2023 Utility Emergency Repair Program bid from Atlas Excavating Incorporated.
Second it.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jim to approve the 2022-2023 Utility Emergency Repair Program bid from Atlas Excavating. Any additional questions or comment? We'll go ahead and do a roll call, starting with Aaron.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
3 ayes, no nays. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, we're going to jump to the next item, which is the city standards approval action item as well. And our counsel, Jeff Jacob, will present resolution 2021-09 to the board.
Thank you, Board. As you'll recall, last year, the utility board and the city updated their various construction standards for the first time in quite some time, and there were some pretty substantive changes that occurred. This year, there's only some minor updates and modifications that have been made, save for some modifications to the fire department connection detail that I believe reflect industry standards. That having been said, I'm sure Ryan is available to answer any questions, but I would, at the board's pleasure, read Resolution 2021-09. A resolution modifying the water and wastewater utility construction standards. Whereas the City of Lebanon, Indiana, owns and operates through its utility service board a municipal utility known as Lebanon Utilities for the purpose of providing safe, reliable, and efficient water and wastewater services in and around the city. Whereas the utility has adopted from time to time revised construction standards for public utility facility additions that have been privately constructed. Whereas in order to facilitate third parties constructing utilities for connection to the various systems and/or dedications to the utility, the City Council adopted Ordinance 2021-26 approving certain city utility construction standards for water, wastewater collection, and storm sewers. Whereas the revised water and wastewater utility construction standards reflect compliance with new laws, regulations, construction techniques, and technology advancements in order to ensure the operation of safe, reliable, and efficient utilities. Whereas the utility makes no recommendation related to storm sewer facility standards, whereas the utility wishes to adopt new updated construction standards for public utility facility additions to the wastewater collection and water systems that are privately constructed for connection to the water and wastewater and/or dedication to the utility. Whereas by adopting the attached Exhibit A, new water and wastewater construction standards, the previously adopted standards excluding stormwater through Ordinance 2021-26, and any subsequent revisions should be superseded by those new water and wastewater standards approved herewith. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Utility Service Board approves and recommends to the Common Council for the City of Lebanon as follows. A, Ordinance 2021-26, and this resolution be effective as of January 1, 2022, that the attached construction standards for privately constructed water facilities for connection to the utility's water system and/or dedication to the utility are hereby approved. C, the attached construction standards for privately constructed wastewater facilities for connection to the utility's wastewater system and/or dedication to the utility are hereby approved. D, the utility is instructed to maintain publicly accessible copies of the water and wastewater construction standards on file with the Office of the Utilities and the City Planning Department. E, the city's ordinance be revised to reflect the new water and wastewater construction standards. And F, all of their elements of the previous construction standards ordinances remain in effect or not in conflict with the attached new construction standards. Foregoing resolution was passed by the Lebanon Utility Service Board this first day of December 2021.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Questions for Jeff on this city standards?
I have a question about how they were generated. Did the city engineer update our standards, and our engineering consultant reviewed them, or how did the process work?
Ryan could speak to that, but I believe that the process occurred with our staff noting modifications that needed to be made throughout the year. For example, if a part was no longer relevant or the name had been changed, we made some of those changes. If there had been, for example, an in-field disagreement on how something between a developer or a contractor occurred, we clarified some of that language, and that came from in-house. That was then shifted to Butler Fairman for review as well. And then I believe most of those recommendations went from Lebanon Utilities to the city for review. Is that a good description?
Yes, so throughout the year, if, a lot of times we'll meet on site or at a TAC meeting or a pre-construction meeting, and if there's something that is not, that the contractor or developer or Lebanon Utilities or the city don't feel is properly addressed, or if things change, terminology changes. I had a conversation with a developer about the definition of gravel for about 45 minutes, and you would be surprised at the many different definitions. So we want, if there's any kind of gray area, we want to try to clear that up. So what we do is we do work with the city to make sure that if there's anything that would be overlapping, but we only focus on the water, wastewater changes, and we kind of do those in-house. Then we'll meet with BF&S and make sure that either one, they're not already addressed in a different area, or maybe we just missed it, but also is it something that could wait, or if it needs to be, is a pressing matter. So we kind of had some stuff. I believe that the city had some stuff too, so we didn't want to do it with it coming to the board and city council. We didn't want to do it at multiple different times. We want to kind of make it as concise and as easy as possible for everybody. We do provide these standards online. We provide them at the TAC meeting in a packet, and then we also provide them when anyone pulls plans through the city office or anything like that. So they're very important. They're basically, the rule book for any future development.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Any additional questions? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve Resolution 2021-09, modifying the water and wastewater utility construction standards.
Second that.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jim to approve Resolution 2021-09, modifying the water and wastewater utility construction standards. We will do a roll call, starting with Aaron.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
It's 3 ayes. Motion carries. And we will stick with Mr. Jacob for the Reese Park Lift Station Reimbursement Agreement.
Yes, thank you. As the Reese Park Lift Station Improvement Project is proceeding, there have been a number of moving parts, and this pretty simple agreement is to help sort of memorialize how the city and utility, how that reimbursement process will work. It is anticipated that Lebanon Utilities will be the contracting entity, and therefore, we need to have some document or agreement in place memorializing for, as at its most basic, State Board of Accounts purposes, how the city will reimburse the utility for those expenses. So it's my understanding that the city has committed approximately, or in actuality, $1.8 million in American Rescue Funds to go towards this project. Assuming that all comes into place, the process would be that the utility would receive an invoice for Reese Park Lift Station upgrades. That invoice would be sent to the city. The utility would pay that invoice, and the city would reimburse the utility for those expenses. So this agreement is somewhat of a collaboration with Sandra and I putting our heads together on how that process would work. We wanted to make sure it was memorialized. This isn't unique. We've done this before where we have those reimbursement type agreements. So
Have you coordinated this with the city council? City legal counsel?
It has been sent to him. Ed has had a conversation with the mayor. I have not yet received the attorney for the city's approval on this agreement. The hope was that it would be reviewed and approved at the city council at its December meeting.
Yeah, we did have a coordination meeting that included the mayor and the city engineer where it was discussed, and they asked Jeff to be the one that coordinated, so.
Good.
So that having been said, their attorney may come back and say, hey, we've got a change to this. I felt like it was.
But the basic nature of the agreement has been well discussed between all the parties.
The mayor and Ed have walked through how the process will work, so yes.
Yeah, it won't be a surprise. Some of the details may change. But, yeah.
Okay. Is this something you have to read, Jeff, or is it just here for a review?
No,
Okay.
just for review.
Okay. All right, any questions for Jeff on this reimbursement agreement before we entertain motions?
I'd like to make this motion. I move to approve the reimbursement agreement between the City of Lebanon and Lebanon Utilities for the Reese Park Lift Station and related facilities.
I second that motion.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jim to approve the reimbursement agreement between the City of Lebanon and Lebanon Utilities for the Reese Park Lift Station and related facilities. Additional questions or discussion?
I'd like to make just one comment here that I appreciate the coordination with the city in providing these funds for this really important project. I don't know if every city and their utility work this smoothly together on everything, but I see this as a success story in progress, and I just wanted to make that comment.
Okay, I second that, Aaron, thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second, and we will do a roll call vote on this. Aaron?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Right, 3 ayes, so that passes. Thank you, guys. Next item is approval of our claims, payroll, and transfers, action item. Everyone had a chance to review the claims, and if there are no questions or discussion, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve claims, payroll, transfers dated December 1st, 2021 in the amount of $366,595.80 for claims and payroll and $163,557 for transfers.
Second?
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Aaron to approve the claims, payrolls, and transfers. We will do a roll call if there is no additional discussion or questions. Aaron?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
All right, 3 ayes, no nays, so the claims, payroll, and transfers are approved. Next item is other business. Anyone on the board or our general manager have any additional business for the board tonight?
No additional business, and I've got no other calls from the public
Good.
outside of the meeting. So.
All right, it doesn't look like there's any public present tonight, and we've had no other public comment come in electronically. Looks like our next board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 15th at 5 PM. Anything else for the board tonight? All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
By Jim, seconded by Aaron, with a roll call for Aaron. Jim?
Aye.
Tim, you want to adjourn?
Maybe tomorrow.
We got 3 ayes to adjourn. Thank you, everyone.